Hey friends, welcome to Post to Post. It's Neil here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day because it's a fantastic week. The NHL has started, okay? We are into the NHL season right now. Games have taken place, and tonight is a big night because there's some pretty good games on tonight, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the games that I plan on watching not only tonight, but for the next week. I did a series similar to this, or I started a series similar to this last season, and because of some time and commitment issues, I wasn't able to kind of continue it. Also, the videos weren't getting that many views, so I decided to drop it, but I would like to do it again for this year and continue it on. Obviously, that gets a little bit complicated because I'm leaving for 2.5 weeks on vacation, and I guess roughly 8 days, so obviously that won't happen during that time that I'm away, but leading up to that, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the games that, coming up in the week. Maybe these are some games you should watch. And then, of course, once I get back, we'll do these videos as well. So that leads us into Wednesday. Tonight, what games am I going to watch tonight? What games do I think you should watch? And we'll go from there each day up until next week. So tonight, for me, this one's pretty easy. And even if you're not a fan of these two teams, I still think that you should watch this one. It's the Toronto-Montreal game. It's at 7 p.m., and that is Eastern times. All the times I'm going to say in this video is Eastern, okay? Eastern Standard Time, Toronto versus Montreal. Rivals, Toronto looking really good, could potentially, make it all the way this year. If they can get past the first round, that's a conversation for 8 months from now. But they always look pretty good in these past couple of years, and they look good this year. So a really good team. Montreal, not so much. So, on paper, Toronto should win this game, but regardless of how good Montreal is or how bad Toronto is or vice versa like this year, it's always going to be good hockey between Toronto and Montreal. So this is a must-watch for me. I'm going to go do 2 games per day, but I have a little bit of a bonus one in here because this is just a process that I'm going to go through tonight watching games. So I'm going to be primarily watching Toronto-Montreal, but I'm also going to be flicking to another game on and around the same time, the Columbus and Carolina game. That's on at 7 Eastern because of Johnny Gaudreau. I want to see his debut with the Columbus Blue Jackets officially in an actual NHL season game. So I'm going to be tuning into that one just a little bit. As far as the late game, I do plan on catching a little bit of the Vancouver and Edmonton game. That starts at 10 p.m. And it's 2 Canadian teams matching up just like Toronto-Montreal. Rivals, not really, not so much, but still 2 Canadian teams battling it out in that first game. So I think it would be pretty interesting. I'm obviously not going to be able to watch all of that because 10 p.m. Eastern is actually 11 my time. So the game would get over at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning. I can't do that. So I will be catching some of that game for sure. So moving on to Thursday, we've got the first game that I'm going to be watching that night is going to be the Dallas and Nashville game. I think that's going to be an excellent game. That starts at 8:30 Eastern. And then the second game is the Colorado-Calgary game. That starts at 9:30. So it's not really technically a late game. They both start kind of relatively close to each other. But those are the 2 games that I plan on watching the most of on Thursday night. Now, obviously, there's other games going on, and I'm going to be tuning into those a little bit, but these 2 games are primarily what I'm looking at here. The Colorado and Calgary game, I just think that obviously defending Stanley Cup champion here in the Colorado Avalanche, but then you're taking on a team that has, made some pretty drastic changes in the last 5-6 months. So I want to see that team that has gone through some transitions and some changes. I want to see them face potentially the best team in the NHL this year right out of the gate. So I think that's going to be a really good game, actually. Colorado and Calgary, 9:30 Eastern. Moving on to Friday, some pretty good games that night as well. We've got Tampa Bay and Columbus at 7. That's going to be the game that I start with personally. Not a huge rivalry there, but there's history. Columbus eliminated Tampa in a sweep that year. I don't think Tampa's forgotten it. I don't think Tampa takes it easy on Columbus because of that. So I think it might be a little bit more of a physical game, and looking forward to it. That starts at 7 Eastern. The other game I'm going to be watching around that time is the New York Rangers and Winnipeg game. 8 p.m. Eastern is when that starts. I think on paper this is a really interesting matchup. I think it's also going to be a really good game as well. These 2 teams don't play each other very often. One's from the East, one's from the West. They don't have a long-standing historical rivalry or anything like that. Just 2 teams wearing blue going at it, and I think it's going to be a good one. On Saturday, lots of games on Saturday. So I picked 3 for this day because we've got a triple header essentially. So the first game is the Florida-Buffalo game. I'm going to be watching that at 1 p.m., and I think that there's a little bit of, I guess I was going to say like story to cheer for. So Buffalo is taking on the giant of Florida, and Buffalo is pretty much always the underdog in whoever they face. But Florida's a pretty big opponent, not just physically, but also in skill-wise from their roster. So Buffalo has a pretty big challenge in Florida. And I think it's going to be a good game to watch as well. Regardless of who wins, it should be fun to watch. I like a lot of players off Florida and a lot of players off Buffalo. The next game is the Ottawa-Toronto game. That's at 7 p.m. That's a long-standing rival. There are two Canadian teams. Lots of young players on Ottawa trying to prove themselves. Toronto trying to, put their foot down and secure their position as a really top contender in this year in the NHL. So that's going to be excellent hockey between Ottawa and Toronto. I think you should watch that game. And like I said, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then the last game after that, or last game of the night, is the Calgary-Edmonton game. I mean, how do you not watch this one? Not only am I going to watch this, I highly recommend you watch it as well. It starts at 10 p.m. Canadian rivalry, Battle of Alberta, history on the line. This is a must. This is a must. You have to watch this game. If you're up late, you got to watch this one. It's going to be great hockey. Sunday, no games on Sunday. Monday, the first game I'm going to be tuning into is the Colorado and Minnesota game. That's at 8 p.m. That's going to be an excellent matchup as well. A lot of really interesting players on both sides coming together for a battle. It's going to be great. Next game after that, or the other game that I'm going to be paying attention to, mostly watching this game because it aligns perfectly with the timing. So the Colorado-Minnesota game starts at 8, and then the Winnipeg-Dallas game starts at 8:30. So the intermissions are going to be staggered a little bit. So there should be like a period of 3.5 hours where there's no intermissions if you watch those two games at the same time. So great timing there for those two games on Monday. Highly recommend watching both of them. Winnipeg-Dallas is also going to be a pretty good matchup as well. Good hockey, I think. So that kind of rounds out the next week of hockey of what I'm going to be watching and what I think you should potentially tune into as well. I mean, obviously there's loads of other awesome games happening, but these are just the ones that I'm going to be kind of concentrating on and making sure that I watch for sure. Now, one little thing to end on here, it's not really news, but I just wanted to throw this out there. Maybe I'll try and do this in every video where I talk about the games upcoming in the week that I think you should watch. Just a little bit of something I think you should check out. Maybe it's an article sometimes, maybe it's a video sometimes. This time I've got a tweet, which is a video. It is a Stamkos and Hedman commercial from, I believe, Mass Mutual. It's not a long video. It's maybe just over a minute, but it's a funny little commercial, and I thought I'd let you guys in on it in case you haven't seen it. So I will link that as a pinned comment actually on this video. If I forget, please mention it in the comments, and I will make that. But if you also just want to go to the Mass Mutual Twitter page, you will definitely find that there on their timeline, and it's a little like, it's not cringy, but it's cute, I guess is the best way to put it. It's a cute little commercial, got some comedy in there. So it's good to see some of those hockey personalities outside of the skates, outside of the arena. I guess not technically because the commercial is in the arena. I won't tell you any more than that, but it's good to see some of those personalities, even if it is scripted. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Are there any games that I missed on here that you think that I should be watching? Let me know down below in the comment section. Would love to hear your input, your insight. I read all the comments. And of course, if you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button so you can catch future videos like this over the next couple of days and into the weekend and into next week. I will be filming, editing, and scheduling videos for when I'm gone. So I don't want the channel to sit here stagnant with no videos releasing for 2.5 weeks. I think that's a little bit, I guess the best way I could put it is, kind of shoot myself in the foot a little bit. Hurts my growth, hurts my algorithm. So I'm going to be filming probably about 8 videos over the next couple of days and stuff, and scheduling so it's staggered release while I'm gone. I'm gonna have people monitoring, my friends monitoring the comments section and stuff, and make sure that that's all looking good. So yeah, there will be content while I'm gone. Just wanted to put that out there and hope you can tune in. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, hit the like button. If you're new, consider hitting the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Adios.